Hey everyone, I am designing a new coaching program and I'm also preparing for a workshop next week. And so I'm wanting to let you all in on a little bit of the behind the scenes of the design process because I've been doing a lot of work recently trying to get really clear on what it is that I really want to do in my business after taking a little break in the winter and coming back with renewed energy and also just this drive to be really, really clear on what it is that I'm most excited to do and most capable of doing. And I've known for a long time that it's really around well-being, overall well-being, health, physical, emotional, mental, and also creative flow. And I'm really fascinated by the creative process. And so I wanted to share a bit about my creative process, both so that you know what's coming down the pipeline in my program, and also so that you understand the creative process a little better through learning by example. So I have been working on this for a while now, and I had done a lot of different ways of collecting my ideas. So I have some notes on my phone, and usually what happens is I'll start collecting things in one note for a while, and it gets really long, and then I'll start a new one. And so I have several of those. I also started using these cards, so these note cards, and I just have certain themes on them on the top, and I write a little bit more about that. And so I have a bunch of these now that I've collected, and I have drawings. I have like diagrams that I've created that are hard to get this to focus on. Okay. And I also have a lot of files on my computer. So I've been creating lots of stuff. I've been really exploring what it is that really matters to me and what it is that I can help people with. And now I'm in that phase of where I want to put it into a program that is well defined so that we can get the outcomes that people want. And it's also customized, so it's flexible enough so that it meets each individual person's needs. So going from having lots of stuff in lots of different places to something that is well structured yet still flexible, and it's not going to include everything, obviously, um, but it has a very clear purpose and a pathway. That part of the creative process has typically been very difficult for me and has been the part where I get out of the fun creator mode where I'm exploring ideas and I'm having lots of insights and I'm excited to work on it and things are just coming out to the self-pressure mode where I'm trying to get to that end product and I'm pressuring myself to get it really down, consolidated, succinct. And the self-pressure mode way of working does not work. It's not like, oh, it works, but it just sucks while I'm in it. It doesn't create the result that I want. I always produce something that is way below what my actual vision is. So then it's just frustrating. And I either don't put it out there or I do, but I'm not excited about it. And so it's not something that really people are attracted to because I'm not excited about it. So I'm really committed this time to following the creative process in the way that I know works, which is me being led by my true self, not my conditioned and wounded self. And so I'm really committed to discovering how to do that during this phase of the process where things are coming together. I would like to start taking on some new clients next month. and I have this workshop that is next week. And I've been working on both of those in parallel because the workshop is going to focus on one piece of this bigger picture that is my program. And it's impossible really to zero in on one piece without having clarity on the big picture and how it fits with other pieces. Again, when I've done that before to try to make it something that is simple and doable, it's always fallen flat because it's not connected to the bigger picture. So it when it loses its connection, it's not as valuable. It doesn't, what I create doesn't give the intended result or the impact that I really want. So I've been committed to working on both of these simultaneously in parallel. And what I really wanted to talk about today is the creative process at at a high level, which is the you have the ideas and you're just kind of jotting things down wherever. I used to make that a problem. I used to make a requirement that I needed to gather everything in one place. And I needed to have a place for that. And maybe I needed some software system to do that for me. But it wasn't okay that I had some stuff written down and some on my phone and some on my computer and some on note cards or sticky notes. It was like, no, I need to like get it all together. And I no longer have made that a requirement. I'm like, I can just gather my stuff and I can look at different things and I don't have to look at it all at once. I can look at a few things until I get inspired and then I can do something with it. And so there's this phase of the creative process of just allowing the ideas to arise. And then now I'm moving into the next phase where I want to be forming them into something and creating some structure. But the thing is, it's not time to do that. Having all of these ideas in all these different places, it's not time for me to go, okay, this is a story and this is a metaphor and this is a practice and here's what I'm going to do in month one of my program. And it's like I need to allow myself the space to look at all of it, not all at once, but to keep looking at it and then and put it somewhere. So I am kind of gathering it all in one place, but without needing it to be organized at this point. So I'm still in the divergent part of the process, the divergent thinking, the expansive part, the really just getting it all out, going through my notes. A lot of this I just did today by memory from I was thinking about what do I want to write and just words would come up. And from there, then I can go into the convergent phase of taking all the stuff and deciding what I want in my program. And I'll probably have multiple programs. What I'm thinking right now is there will be a 3-month core foundation program where it's really about getting the essentials down. And so this is what I have in the center. I started out with this well-being essentials. And I love this word, and it came from the book Essentialism, which I recently re-listened to, which I had listened to a while ago. And it's absolutely necessary. So in this world where lots of stuff's happening and a lot of things are vying for our attention, it's really hard to focus on what's essential for me, for my well-being. And that's really what I want to focus on first. And it's sorry, I was thinking about how it relates to the outcome, the next part, which is the creative flow, which is being able to get into a creative flow zone more and actually complete creative projects. So have a project that you start and go all the way through and complete, because that's really the next phase of my work. So probably that's where I'm going to have a part two. But right now, I want to focus on the solid foundation. Again, I can do these things in parallel because that creativity works is it's not neat and orderly. And it's not like, oh, I can just design the first part now, and then later I can design the other part because my brain is coming up with all these things. And when I keep in mind the ultimate goal, then it shows why this foundational piece is so important because you never get to that other goal if you don't focus on the foundation first. So I just started writing down words and phrases that were coming to mind. I started in the middle with well-being essentials. There's different qualities and practices and skills and questions and cycles and rhythms. And so I put that there and I realized, well-being, it really is a state of being that we want to be in where we're not triggered into fight, flight, freeze, but we can actually be in safety in our nervous system. So safety first. And then I just started thinking about there's some words and phrases. So I started putting them over here. And I wrote those down, and then I noticed I had a lot of RE words like reclamation, relax, reflect, review. So I thought that was interesting. Reclamation is huge. That may be in my title because it is really about reclaiming your health, your your body, yourself. It is a reclamation of who you really are. So anyway, I had that, and then I started thinking about different things like attributes of the program that it's incremental, it's cyclical, and it's cyclical and iterative. It's fun and playful, which reminded me to put play over here, which I love the definition of play as being joy in the moment. You just do something because it feels good in the moment, and that's it. And that's play. And so I brought that in. This is a core part of my program about know yourself, be yourself, grow yourself. So knowing who you are, being able to be yourself, that's really what this whole first part is about. People think I have to know myself to be myself, but actually you be yourself and that's how you know yourself. And what prevents us from being ourselves is all the conditioning and traumas and fear, which you can't see. So I've got to pull this up, but let's see if I can do this. Okay, so down here we have some stuff that gets in the way. The fear, the doubt, the overwhelm, self-pressure, the myths and lies. And so I really could say this is about learning how to be with fear, to master fear, because if you don't do that, uh, yeah, it will master you and you will keep getting what you don't want because you are being driven by fear. So I wrote those things. I started thinking like this is really the core of this. These are kind of different ways to say the same thing. I started with build a solid foundation because that's always been what I felt is what my work is really about, is building a solid foundation of health. I want to be healthy so that I have energy to do everything that I want and need to do. Another way to look at it is that you're centering your well-being. You're not always prioritizing your well-being, but you're centering your well-being so that when something happens and you are prioritizing something else, you're always coming back to that. And it's just a way of being. So radiate from your core essence, honor your cycles. And it's like, well, it's also about discovering so that you can honor your cycles. And it really is focusing on what matters most. So it's all about doing it your way, discovering what that is. And a big part of it is feeling emotions is where your power comes from. This is how you reclaim your power is through feeling. And most people don't know how to do this. Now they don't know how. They've forgotten and the fear gets in the way. And so they go in, but they don't go all the way in, or they go in and they try to figure it out and analyze it when it's really just about feeling it. So this is something I have had to learn through lots of persistence because of a very strong analytical mind and want to understand everything. And so this is where I'm at now. I just created this. I started writing some stuff down and then I went and made lunch and I ate lunch. And while I was eating, I had some more thoughts. So I came and I added a few little things to this. And now I'm letting it be. So this is part of the incremental and iterative and playful fun process that I'm not stressing over this. My past self would be, but I know that doesn't work. And so I'm leaning into this way of working that it occurs over time. And now that I have started this, I will just continue to have more and more ideas and I'll keep adding to it. And allowing myself to have this big piece of paper where I just put down lots of stuff and it's sort of organized, but not really. And I could feel myself going into, well, does this go over here or over there? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm just writing it down and it can move later. And I could make a new category and I could connect things or delete things or whatever. It really doesn't matter. I'm just working on getting the big picture in one place. So I guess I am doing that, even though I said I gave up on doing that. But I gave up on doing it in an organized way. I gave up on trying to skip this very important step of allowing myself to look at all of it and to be in awe and grateful for it versus feeling overwhelmed and confused because that's part of the fear cycle and it's just a protective mechanism to keep me safe by keeping me where I am in the status quo. And what I want to do is changing that up. And so there's the part of me that feels very unsafe by that. So I just recognize that. And I go, oh, one of my protection strategies is to be confused and overwhelmed and then not move forward. So I'm meeting the confusion and overwhelm with compassion and I'm feeling that and I'm connecting into what's really true and my deeper vision and what's a fun way to do these things. So I'm using this right now to capture lots of stuff. And I'll probably end up having multiple pages. And then from there, I think the patterns will start to become clear, just like I saw things here that I hadn't seen before, like all these RE words, and I can see there are things that I'm like, oh, that's really important, that it's a state of being and it's safety first. And this playful part is so important. So getting it out is helping me to see what is really most important, just what my program is all about. Focus on what matters most. So it's great, it's fun, and I wanted to share that. And I'll be sharing more about my process as I go along, as I am creating both this program and this workshop.